What's up, gang? It's Delty from DeltyIsGaming.com, and we're going to go over the Update 2.1 Imperial City patch notes today, and I'm going to give you some insight in what I think is the biggest changes. You notice that I'm on my Magic Nightblade, Never Die. I'm going to show you why I think that Magic Nightblade will be the #1 class in Update 2.0, and here's why. So right now the server is updated and it looks like we're downloading some information on the PTS. I'm at 19% and we're going to get started. And what I want to do is not go through every single patch note, but give you guys what I think is the most relevant information and how it will change the landscape of the game. So first off, the official patch notes can be found on Elder Scrolls Online, their forums. I'm going to have that link for you in the descriptions. And what I'm using is going to go for my website, where I show what I think is the most relevant information and then my thoughts on it. So check the description if you want this. Another thing to know about patch notes and the public test server, this is not officially released yet. August 31st is their tentative date to get this released, so these things are subject to change. If you don't like something and you legitimately test it and have good feedback for them, they do listen to us. So let's make sure that we read this, try it out before we have huge, crazy opinions. Well, I guess that's exactly what I'm going to do. Anyways, so my opinions on this, and that's what they are, just opinions until I get testing. So we go here through my website. I'm going to have a link to this, and this is exactly what I do and think about these updates. So let me go in detail a little bit more. I broke them down for you guys, and basically PvP and so on and so forth. So the PvP changes that I thought were most important or impactful, the former Emperor buffs are being removed from the game. My opinion on that is, while I don't have an Emperor character, I still don't like it, because I think there should be some incentive to get Emperor. And even if you can't get Emperor, or you can't give them a buff, give them something to show it off. A title I just don't think is enough for people that really worked that hard to become Emperor in the game. Battle Spirit. This is very controversial. Basically, right now, the healing receive and damage, they got huge nerfs. So essentially, it's just trying to make people live longer. While I don't like getting one-shot, and I don't like people one-shotting me, you have to have some balance between low B and high B PvP. Right now, low B is pretty easy. You have a lot of time to react, where high B, or veteran rank PvP, if you make one mistake, you're dead. While I don't want ESO or my MMO to be a first-person shooter, I do want it to take some skill and that you have to have some type of damage. So 50%, I don't know if that's too much. We'll see. Next, I think this is a really good change for PvP, and that's offering some major incentive for the Underdog Alliance. So this is a huge change, and I think making Daggerfall Covenant irrelevant once again, since we are super underdogs on North American server. We'll see how that goes. Keep Wall got upgrades, now give 25% more hit points, so it looks like they gave some more incentive to repair and gather resources. I hate sieging, so that's going to be kind of lame. Moving on to sieging, speaking about it, campaign changes I think are really positive. These campaign changes now all have some incentive for people to play the way they want. So if you want to go after resources, you don't want to go after scrolls, or you want to go after scrolls, you want to capture keep, there is somewhere for you to play. Love that change. And then they also add some really good Cyrodiil rewards and improvements. Some way for people to participate in campaigns, feel like they're relevant, and get something at the end, especially if your alliance wins first place. This is a handy dandy chart that they made. I think it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how these shape out, especially the tier 1 and 3 rewards. I'm interested to see how it works out, because I plan on getting a couple of these rewards on different characters and seeing what you can do. Either way, making PvP have more of an incentive is always good for players that want to play it and enjoy it. And so now not only the top 5% of people get stuff, a lot of people can get stuff. That's great. Combat. There's a lot of major changes here. Essentially, no longer will you regenerate stamina while blocking. That's an utter game changer for tanks. And while a lot of people are panicking about this change, I have some ideas on how to get around this, and I will try to release my Dragon Knight build on the PTS before this even launches. So don't panic. We'll find a workaround. We'll adjust. And if it's too hard, too taxing, we'll give them feedback and they'll change it. Reduces the cost of stamina abilities by 20%. So they're equivalent to weapon abilities. That's a good buff for stamina, making the cost lower. And the reason why that's a good change is because the cost of dodge rolling has increased 33% after the first dodge roll. So each dodge roll, it will get more and more taxing for the stamina player. Why is that good? Well, right now the meta is basically a constantly dodge roll if you're a stamina build, and stack your regeneration so high that basically you can avoid almost anything. That is a little bit difficult. So the change of that is good, and also along the line of that is Vigor. An Alliance Rank 10 ability is now moved down to Alliance Rank 5. Much more obtainable for stamina builds to have some type of self-healing if their class doesn't. So I think these two changes kind of balance themselves out. Another change, Molten Whip and Veiled Strike can no longer be dodge rolled, can now be avoided by dodge roll. So you don't have these spammable abilities that no one can get away from. That's a good change, considering dodge rolling is going to be a pain. So is blocking. Ultimately, I think these changes are good. Not all of them, but what it's going to do is make for more skilled gameplay. You're going to have to block timely now, not just perma-block. You're going to have to dodge roll timely now, not just infa-dodge roll. Love it. Class changes. Doesn't look like Dragonite got a whole lot. They got to heal Ascidian Shard, which I don't know how much it heals for. That'll be interesting. Molten Weapons got a major nerf, and now fully charged heavy attacks will give you the bonus when executing. That's a monster nerf to the Sunset and the Destruction Staff medium weaving ability. Battle Roar did get a buff to stamina base class and will now scale off max stamina or magic, whichever's higher. And then Flame Lash got something a little bit different, which is no longer a direct heal, but a heal over time. Don't like that. Nightblade. Why do I think they're going to be the best class in the game? Grim Focus. This is a major damage dealing ability, but it took so many light attacks to work that rarely you could only get off one attack. Now this is much easier to use because it only takes 4 light attacks in about 20 seconds to use. This is such an utter game changer that Nightblade I think will be the cream of the crop, even in single target damage. Not to mention this, Drain Power increases the damage of the ability by 20%. So Sap Essence, the thing that heals you and does tons of damage, 20% harder. That's a huge, huge powerful increase. Let's keep it going. Siphoning Strike. This ability, basically you hit someone and you either get health, stamina, magic back, or stamina and magic like always. Now it's no longer toggleable. You can cast it. And it removed the power and spell power debuffs. You get your full magic damage and stamina damage with this ability and no longer have to have 2 spots for it. I can't believe that. If that changes, the Nightblade advantages are so strong in resources. Let's keep it going. They even got another buff in Refreshing Shadows. So this ability used to be at 2 points, 30% stamina recovery. So they nerfed that in half, but what they did is they gave it to all pools. Stamina, health, and magic recovery. Oh my god. Making magic Nightblades look very, very enticing. So that's why I think they're so powerful. The Sork got a little nerf, got a little buff. So they buff pets again. They're continually trying to make pets incentivized so you can plan. I don't like pet builds. You guys might, but I still don't think it will be enough incentives for people to pull off these builds in high-end PvE. Maybe in PvP. One really powerful change is the Restoring Light minor intellect can be granted up to 6 allies. I think you'll see Sorks running in trials with this buff to give that minor 10% magic recovery. So the Sork nerf to Bolt Escape, I don't think we fully understand it, but we'll see if it actually takes hold. But that's probably a pretty controversial change. Overload now gives way more magic back, increases the damage for Mage's Fury Execute, which is the Sork finisher. I think this is good, considering that the finisher starts around 20%. Surge got a major buff once again. Reduces the cost, increased duration, and they reduce the cooldown on healing. So once again, Sork self-heals can become relevant. Now it's not, there's still a cooldown, so it's not going to be run in there and you can kill everything and never die, but it gives some incentive to use Surge over Entropy, and I like it. Especially crit Surge for stamina builds, because stamina builds now got Thundering Presence, Lightning Form Morph that uses stamina. So once again, my Ricochet Sork build, I think I'm going to revive that thing and see if we can't make it work. The Templar. My baby. So basically what happened here is it looks like Healing Templars got a buff with the passives now applying to Breath of Life, Repentance, and the Repentance scaling off of stamina. I like that. Purifying Light, which is an ability that I use in DPS often, will instead of leaving a pool on the ground, will actually now stick to the target. I think that's going to be a major positive change for Healing Templars. The one nerf that Templars needed was Radiant Oppression. So now this ability, they reduce the damage down. You should not be able to use an ability at 80% health and just click one ability. So I think this is good. Some other changes, they increase stamina cost of momentum, absorb magic, going to get more healing. Dual wield got a major buff. Now you can get major brutality using dual wield. So you don't have to have a two-hander to heal, and you don't have to have a two-hander to use your major brutality buff. Finally, a really good increase. Destruction staff got some really interesting changes in the way that the staffs work. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, though I don't know without testing. Looks like they possibly fixed the Camo Hunter bug, which was allowing people to one-shot bosses in stealth. Two other things is it looks like Trap Beast will now offer an interesting critical damage buff by 12% and might become relevant, along with Taming Webs, depending on the damage increase. So if you're a PvPer, got some major changes here. Caltrops, Continuous Attack, Magic Debt, and Vigor. The thing that I got out of this the most is that relocating Vigor to the Alliance Rank 5 tree makes it much easier as a stamina class to survive without a self-heal. So if you're a Stamina Templar, you have Breath of Life. But if you're a Stamina Nightblade, you have no direct heal unless you get Vigor. And Alliance Rank 10 was too harsh. Positive change for stamina builds. Some negative changes. Werewolf, remove stamina regeneration from Lycanthropy. It now requires the ultimate to be slotted. That's a bad change for Werewolf and really de-incentivizes using Werewolf. Vampire fire damage got reduced to 25%, but the passive for Supernatural Recovery no longer works unless you have a Vamp ability slotted. So, RIP Vampire and Werewolf, in my opinion. I just don't think Vampire offers enough incentives right now in PvP to use it because of the Dawnbreakers. Werewolf, you have to slot an ultimate, and there's just too many things that could go in my bar, that are beneficial for me. So those things are big. Racial changes. I know you guys have wanted to see this, and here's my opinion on it. I was not impressed with the Argonian and Nord changes. Argonian got a little buff to a potion thing, 2%, not enough. Nord's got a little more health, not enough. But what got a over buff is the High Elf. High Elf increased magic recovery from 9% to 12%. Imagine a Magic Nightblade. Now you got essentially 18% more on a High Elf magic regeneration. That is utterly incredible. Khajiit's got something exactly what they needed, and that's rid of the stupid robust passive and gave him stamina recovery, or regeneration by 10%, and more critical strike. I cannot wait to get on the old Khajiit Nightblade and start playing again on AD. I cannot wait to revive that build. What else got an overbuff too? They gave him more stamina, which I don't think they need considering the amount of regeneration they get. I was disappointed there was no champion system major changes here, and I imagine that they're going to have something else later because I can't see them leaving champion system the way it is. Mundus Stone, probably the best change of all, is they added a spell power Mundus Stone and a stamina regeneration. Now there's equality in the Mundus Stones. You have a stamina regeneration, magic generation. You have a weapon power, you have a spell power. These are positive changes that I think will really impact the community. Also, Ritual increases the healing bonus received from Mundus Stone by 5% to 10%, making it probably the ideal Mundus Stone now for healers. I like it. Another potion change that I think people will look over is that potion long duration will now last 50 seconds. Why does this matter? Because your potion cooldown, if it's at 50 seconds, you can continually lose potions and not have to run your major buffs. So if you don't want to run Major Brutality and the Weapon Critical, you can just use potions over and over and over. Some itemization changes. I still don't know what the 2-piece sets are. The new ones, I'm going to try to be world first to get them. But the major change that I saw too, the Crypt of Heart set is now going to proc off of all damage by 10%. And the crystals are increased damage by 175%. This sucker might just be the best in slot damage 2-piece helm. I don't know until I test, but I plan on getting it as my characters have this. Ravager, basically the best stamina set in the game, now has a 10-second cooldown on the item effect, making it pretty much useless doing the Ravager Caltrops trick. So if you have Ravager, you might want to get rid of it right away. And that's basically the things that I noticed off of patch 2.1 on the PTS. There's probably a lot more. We're going to do a lot more testing. We're going to do a lot more evaluation of this, and I'm going to have a crap load of videos because my patch client is just about downloaded, and we're going to run in there, Rambo around, and make a ton of videos on what I find out. Thank you guys so much. Remember, I have that 50K reward thing going on for the YouTube subscribers and followers, so please enter in that. And I can't wait to find all these secrets, and I hope that I can have some builds out, one per class, before Update 7 even launches. Thank you guys. I'm living the dream because of you.